Well, this is a beautiful welcome to Feltham. The Longford River is passing right underneath its platforms. So Feltham Station might be the one for Heathrow Airport. If you ignore the Heathrow Airport stations, it's the closest one on the South Western Railway network at least. But there has been a plan in the past to create a new railway from here to link to the airport. I'm not sure if that will ever happen, but that's not the railway we're focusing on today anyways. I'm instead heading for the Shepperton branch line, as I'm going to walk between some of its stations. We'll have a quick look at Feltham first though, because this very much looks like it's a former entrance to the station. And you know you're in Feltham when you see the St Giles Hotel. It's very much a local landmark. Just across the road from the station lies Bridge House Pond, which I can't quite see. There's a lot of shrubbery in there, but there's some rather nice mosaics dotted around this pond. I presume there's an air raid shelter around here, or there used to be, and I am seeing our first destination today, Hanworth. I want to walk through this area to reach the Shepperton branch. Now, I haven't come to visit Hanworth to have a look at a grimy industrial estate and retail park, but instead because this is the site of an old airfield, the London Air Park, Hanworth Airfield, which is why there's this propeller sculpture here. So luckily the entire site isn't an industrial estate, and I do have the delightful Hanworth Park to walk over. Oh, that sun is quite hot actually. Spring is definitely here. Now there is something in Hanworth Park that I'd like to attempt to try and visit. This almost looks like it's some sort of moat that is surrounding the property. We'll give this path a go and see if it benefits us. I just saw on my map that that moat is actually the Longford River, and there is an additional fence blocking me from it, so it's a potential climb there. Essentially, in there lies Hanworth Park House, which was built in the 1830s. It is currently derelict. I'm not too sure if they're going to do anything with it. It was used as a clubhouse when there was an airfield here, and I was hoping to maybe catch a glimpse of it through the trees, but there's a lot of trees. I do know there's a driveway, kind of a main entrance from the industrial estate. I might be able to catch a glimpse of it from there if I was to walk around. I think I'm going to do that because this is quite dangerous to climb. Ooh, hold on. This looks ideal. They're just hanging off. Oh, it's very overgrown in there though. Not the best way in. So I've just come from the open park there. There was sort of a path alongside the perimeter fence, and perhaps this might be the best shot of the house I'm going to get, because I can at least see it, which is what I wanted. I can hear saws. I see some sort of digger over there. I hear people talking, so it looks like they are doing some sort of construction or restoration on the house, which is good to see. So here is the driveway from the industrial estate. You can see it's all boarded up. You might be able to hear noise of construction down there. What's funny is that I could have come here directly from the propeller sculpture, but I've instead done a considerable loop all the way around Hanworth Park, which is good. You know, I've seen a larger chunk of the park now. That's the Longford Water again, by the way. So I'm going to head straight across Hanworth Park now, and it has just occurred to me as I'm walking along, because this is such a wide path, this very well could be an old runway. Basically, after the war, all the planes got diverted to Heathrow Airport, so this wasn't really needed anymore. Ah, this is curious. We got another disused building here. Now that I've left Hanworth Park, I'm pretty much right on the very edge of London. I've got a bit of a major road to walk up alongside, or really I've got a path that kind of avoids it to the edge. This is a curious little path right beside a little brook. I'm heading up towards Kempton Park, where there's some rather intriguing tourist attractions. I'm really glad that the path takes me underneath the main road alongside the Port Lane Brook down there, because it's such an uncanny landscape. It's really enjoyable to walk along, really. This is a fantastic building as well. There's a sign on it which says the Metropolitan Water Board. So from one building that mentions the Metropolitan Water Board to another, this is the first location around Kempton Park, just on the other side of the road, and that is the Kempton Steam Museum, which I guess reminds me of Kew's Steam Museum, which isn't a million miles away in southwest London. And then on the other side of the road, attached to the museum, there is a little miniature steam railway as well, which I think Kew also has one of these, and I can actually see a little steam train over there. My map actually suggests that the little platform down there for the steam railway is called Hanworth Halt Station. I would have thought that perhaps it would be named Kempton in some way, but that little orange flying bag, I've never known the name of them, seems to suggest that maybe Hanworth Airfield stretched down to this point. So it seems there's quite the few brooks around here, because we had the Port Lane Brook and now I've come across the Feltham Hill Brook, and much like this watercourse, I'm gonna have to find a way to get across this road now. So I've successfully made it over the road, and I've finally found the Shepperton branch at Kempton Park station, which you can infer from the signs there is a racecourse around here with the same name. Now, intriguingly, this station actually only used to be open on race days, but it became a permanent stop in 2006. It's still pretty quiet throughout the day though, and I have spotted a disused third platform. This would have dated from when there were specific race trains from London that would serve Kempton Park. When the station first opened, it was to be used only by members of the racecourse themselves. Regular people just going to see the races had to use Sunbury station, which isn't necessarily that far away. In fact, I can see the platforms down there at the next bridge. Platform 1 for please 12:48 So you know that I am, of course, going to check out Kempton Park Racecourse, considering that I'm here. It's pretty beautiful for me to be back, to be honest. It's been several years since my last visit, and I really enjoyed it. Because no one was around back then. I could literally just walk straight in and sit up in the stands and watch grass grow, not horses racing. I actually remember kind of sitting up on the wall up over there, and a security guard took a photo of me, but he didn't say anything to me, which is odd. I can't quite go in today though. There are people milling around, there's music playing. I've seen kind of carts transferring horses into the grounds of the racecourse. There might be some sort of event taking place. I feel like I don't quite fit the dress code either, in my hoodie and vibrant t-shirt. Now I am actually heading up towards Sunbury station myself, but I'm not taking the most direct route because I thought I'd come around and have a look at their War Memorial and Cedars Recreation Ground, which is behind. So I've made it to Sunbury station, which I do recall standing outside of once, and there was a permit to travel machine here, which is now gone. But I've not actually used the station. I don't quite recall why I was here in the first place. Now I'm actually going to rectify that and use Sunbury station now. I've only ever travelled on the Shepperton branch once outside of London, beyond Hampton, to Shepperton itself, where I did an explore, which we will later as well, and then I returned and used Kempton Park and visited the racecourse. Now if that station was still only open on race days, it would be a lot trickier to tick off nowadays, and that trip was about 7 years ago, leaving Sunbury and Upper Halliford, the intermediate stations, incomplete. Now, if I headed directly to Upper Halliford and didn't come up the road to Sunbury station, the walk will pretty much be the same distance, so it will be accurate by the end. And this is very similar to when I walked the Marlow branch. I came off to visit Furs Platt station and got the train to Cookham, because again, they were the only 2 stations on the line which I had not used. I've never seen a ticket office at a station use this kind of door before. That's quite unusual. Well, it's been quite some time since I've done a shot like that. It's been a while since I've ticked off 2 stations in one day. This line has recently had contactless payment be added to it. I've always been quite surprised that they were never included in the Oyster Zone, these 4 stations to Shepperton. If Hertford gets the Oyster, why didn't Shepperton? But the problem with contactless is that you can't get a rail card discount with it. So I did just purchase a paper ticket with my rail card, and it was only £1.05p. And that short journey has brought me to Upper Halliford, which is an awful station. This is really bad. Now, this line opened in 1864. Kempton Park opened a little bit later in 1878 at the same time as the Racecourse, but this one is the newest on the line, opening in 1944 to serve a munitions factory. Yes, there was a munitions factory for the war around here. Now it seems there's just a main road, another bridge. Is this another road? I don't even know. And that's about it. This is grim. So I can carry on with the walk, and I do need to get up to that main road above the railway. I thought I'd use that gate, but it's actually padlocked shut, so I have to head around what is currently the closed ticket office. I do wonder whether this area here was perhaps maybe an old signal box. Luckily I'm not along the road for too long. I can take this path that will lead me into Halliford Park. Oh, hi. So I've made it to Ash Link Local Nature Reserve, which is pertinent because the River Ash is flowing through here. It's nice, but you do have the M3, which is that busy road by Upper Halliford station. So it's not peaceful, really. I was surprised to find out that this was the first nature reserve in the borough of Spelthorne, despite the fact that it opened in 2012. I would have thought that there's surely a nature reserve around here before then. I've got to cross that bridge in a moment to get over the M3. But first, and I can put up with the noise, this is a nice spot to sit down and have some lunch. I noticed as I was sat down having my sandwich that there seems to be some old London buses over there. I mean, I presume they are. They're red double-deckers, so of course they're going to be London buses. So I have now made it to Shepperton station, the end of the line. Although it was originally planned to head a little bit further towards the River Thames, and there would have been a station near to Chertsey Bridge. You know where we're going to head to now, don't you? I want to go and see the River Thames because I'm not ending the walk here at Shepperton. Though I might one day come back if we buck our ideas up and build Crossrail 2. This could be the end of Crossrail 2. Or one of them. There's like 4 endpoints in southwest London or just out of it. I do wonder, because there was a similar proposal with Crossrail 1, There was the idea of it going to Reading and Heathrow and potentially even up towards Watford or Amersham. Will Crossrail 2 actually go to all 4 destinations it's suspected to do so? Will it actually come to Shepperton, or will they just stick with branches to Hampton Court or whatever the other ones are? Epsom, I think one of them is. Will we ever find out? Who knows? I wonder when this train goes, will I be able to spot a disused platform from 1915, a year before the line was electrified. Oh, well, there is a second track. Oh no, there is actually a platform. Wow. Well, there she is. The mighty River Thames. It's not as mighty as it would be kind of on the other side of London. This is glorious in the sun. It's bringing back great memories for when I first and last visited Shepperton 7 years ago. It was a bit of a rainy day then. I recall hanging out here for a bit before returning to Kempton Park and there being a rope swing. I think I slipped off it and then I had mud at the back of my jacket. I also found a Domino's hat. I forgot to bring it with me, but it doesn't seem like there's a Domino's in Shepperton anymore, which is a bit of a shame. I like a Domino's. I've actually just sat here for the last 20 minutes and just taken the view in and the sun. I've missed this after the cold, long winter months. It's really nice doing a sort of rural walk and it actually being warm. This is glorious. So I've walked down beside the Thames to lower Halliford now, where there's a bridge over it to Walton on Thames that's rather appropriately called Walton Bridge. Now, this is actually the 6th bridge on this site. That's pretty incredible. This one dates from 2013. I've only ever passed underneath it once when walking the Thames on the other side about 5 years ago. I think I did Staines to West Molesey along the River Thames through here. A brilliant fact about this bridge is that this is the first one over the Thames upstream once you leave London, which means the next one down will be at Hampton Court, because that literally is the border between London and Surrey. So all that's left for me to do now is to head up to Upper Halliford again, because we didn't actually visit the village earlier when we visited the station, and then head back towards Sunbury. Sorry, what? Is that a bird? How is it dangling down like that? It's definitely dead. If I was here at night time, this is the start of a horror movie. You see that, and all of a sudden someone comes up behind you and murders you too. This is a nice way to reach Upper Halliford. There's a Shepperton marina here, just off of the River Thames. This is really nice. I was hoping to have a nice rural path across the fields now during golden hour, but it's closed. That's quite the diversion around. Really? Since January 2024? 2 years this has been closed while they carry out some works. See, it's gotten to that point where the day is long and I'm tired. I don't really want to go on a diversion. If I was to go through, how possible would it be on the other side? I might just do it because no one's working right now. Okay, it's turned into a bit of a different adventure. We've got a fence ahead of us, so maybe I can just squeeze through here instead. Wow, this is quite the excavation they're digging. I think the public footpath begins again kind of near that house on the other side. Could I just walk across? I mean, I don't think I have any worries about falling into deep water unless there's water on the other side of that verge. Okay, let's run up here and see the moment of truth. Okay, yep, there's water. How do I get around this? There is sort of a land bridge here. This might be possible. Or even just skirt along the edge of it there. You really sink down into it. Well, that was something different. I've not walked across terrain like that before, but I have managed to make it back over to the public footpath now. Well, this is at least a nicer welcome to Upper Halliford than the railway station earlier, as I'm passing over the River Ash once again to reach the village. And from Upper Halliford's village green, unless there's another quarry in my way, I should just have one direct path all the way over to Sunbury. Wow, looks like we've got a full moon on our hands. I found my path to Sunbury. It's technically in there, but I've seen someone also walk out here on the field, so I might risk doing this. Okay, I'm gonna head back onto the path whilst I have the chance, just in case there is no other way out. Oh wow, I figured if the moon was rising, I should at least look back and see if the sun is setting. And that is amazing. So I've made it to Sunbury village, not Sunbury station. I guess you can also call it Sunbury on Thames, because yes, I have been reunited with the river right at the end of my walk. So Sunbury on Thames was one of only 3 districts in Middlesex to not be absorbed into the new Greater London in 1965. I don't actually know what the other 2 are. I should have checked that, shouldn't I? Even the district council of Sunbury was absorbed into the borough of Spelthorne later in 1974. And it is a beautiful location to bring an end to today. It was a great day out on the Shepperton branch line. I literally forgot the name of it. You know why? Because I was going to say Spelthorne again. It's been a long day, alright? I'm tired. And it is the terminus of the 235 bus route, but I'm actually going to get the 216. I could get it to Hampton, which is the last station in London on the Shepperton branch, but I'm actually going to stay on to Kingston instead, which is another riverside town. So thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed this, subscribe, because there'll be other adventures coming soon. Cheers.
216 to Kingston.
This is not something I thought I'd see today.